I do realize on some level, if I'm looking for logic here, I'm not going to find any, but I've really been struggling with the issue of how it is that MAGA, who are Republicans who for so many years advocated for small government, states' rights, don't tread on me. They were the party that wore T-shirts with the Constitution printed on them. They had decals of the Constitution and Lady Liberty and the American flag plastered on the back of their pickup trucks. Right, like as a kid in Texas, we had to sing "I'm Proud to Be an American" by Lee Greenwood. Too many times. I memorized it in second grade and I can still sing it for you. And Lee Greenwood is like a big Trumper. He's a big MAGA hat. And the song goes, "I'm proud to be an American where at least I know I'm free. I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I'll proudly stand up next to you and defend her still today, because there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA." See, I told you. That got funneled into my brain in second grade and it's never leaving. I've been thinking about this a lot because I just don't understand how it is that MAGA has just handed over their constitutional rights to Donald Trump. I know you can tell me that it's a cult. Angela, stop looking for logic. That's not what this is about. But I'm really, really struggling with this on many levels. Again, my dad served in the Air Force for 30 years. We were from a very patriotic family. American flags everywhere. My parents were Republicans, but not this kind of Republican. Like a lot of patriotic imagery in my house growing up, and we took Veterans Day and Memorial Day and 4th of July very seriously. And I think I've mentioned this before, but my mom had like a pocket copy of the Constitution in almost every room of the house. When my kids were born, when I went to college, she gave me another copy. When my kids were born, they each got a copy. And I don't know if today's conservatives haven't actually read the Constitution or they haven't actually learned history. And I know that the Heritage Foundation has spent decades trying to undermine public education and make sure that our children do not learn our history. MAGA is a reactionary movement that wants to take us backward in time, but they don't actually want us to learn what it was really like back then. They can say, let's go back to a previous era where everything was great. And if you don't know what happened in that period of time, it's so easy for them to hoodwink you and to give you this deceptive conceptualization of an America of the past, because you have been deprived of an education about what American history truly is. Not to keep quoting song lyrics in this video, but it's that Rage Against the Machine song, "Take the Power Back," where he says, "The present curriculum, I put my fist in them, Eurocentric, every last one of them. I see right through the red, white, and blue disguise." Yeah, we definitely, as a child of the 80s, we had a ton of patriotic imagery, a lot of American imperialism in our education. But dang, y'all, like Texas in 4th grade, I had to memorize the Bill of Rights. I had to memorize the preamble. And we had to learn about our history and how we got free of a tyrant king. I mean, we could also talk about how in Texas in the 80s, I was taught that the Civil War was really about states' rights. I didn't learn about Juneteenth, but I did learn the Bill of Rights and the Reconstruction Amendments. And I guess I'm just really, really struggling with how it is that this segment of our society that was just steeped in patriotism and love of the Constitution, love and pride for American history, or at least their version of American history, which did very much, I was going to say have nostalgia glasses for, but then I sound like my Gen Z kids. Very much revered the American Revolutionary period and our struggle to get free of a king and establish a democracy. The same segment of our society that was like, fuck yeah, of course we went to war to make sure that we don't have taxation without representation. They're now the ones that are like, oh, let Donald Trump decide how to spend all of our money. Yeah, we know Republicans in Congress, they have abdicated the power of the purse. We know that they have no intention of representing us, their constituents, at all, much less doing their constitutional duty. Yeah, we're okay with that. Let's just let Daddy Donald have control over all of our money. Doesn't matter where Congress has appropriated that money, he can just spend it however he wants. Yeah, he can give tax breaks to billionaires. We can watch working class Americans' taxes increase. And all of the programs that were meant to take those taxes and facilitate a decent quality of life for us. Yeah, that's all gone to hell. But we're not mad about that. No. We forgot all about being a people who love the Constitution. We don't even remember what the Bill of Rights is. Yeah, taxation without representation. We trust Daddy Donald. We trust unelected ghoul Stephen Miller and Project 2025 architect Russell Vogt to decide how to spend our taxes. We don't need representation anymore. Right? That baffles baffles me. It really, really baffles me. And maybe the answer is as simple as it's a cult. But I can't help but wonder, is there a way to get to these folks and to remind them the principles and values they said they once stood for, would go to war for? The principles and values and freedoms that their parents and grandparents fought wars and died for? Is there any hope? Like, is the cognitive dissonance, just is the desire to conform to their new MAGA worldview just so intense that they can't be reminded of the values, the truly American values that they said they held dear? And I'm particularly struggling with how many MAGA I see online who are just like so angry and very much the epitome of the definition of a snowflake when they see other Americans exercising their right to protest. Protesting is as American as apple pie. It is something that we did to get free of a tyrant king, lest we not forget the Boston Tea Party. Protesting is in our blood, in the foundations of this country. There is nothing more American. And yet MAGA is now irate. They want to do violence to Americans who are speaking their mind and exercising their constitutional rights. And I don't understand it. You're so threatened by other people's words. You're so threatened by your fellow Americans disagreeing with you that you want ICE to brutalize their bodies. You want to give billions and billions of your own tax dollars to pay Proud Boys and Oath Keepers to dress up like legitimate law enforcement and brutalize Americans? What have you done? What have you done with yourself? I don't know. My brain is really, really having a hard time with this. I don't know if MAGA is so American. Why are they so irate, so angry, and so eager to hurt people who want to assemble to petition the government for a redress of our grievances? That is the most American thing there is. When we were prepping for April 5th, Hands Off, one of the things that Ezra and Leah from Indivisible said was that in order to defend your rights, you have to continue to exercise them. You cannot allow the regime to move the needle and to make it seem like these very American values and practices are suddenly, verboten, right? Americans exercising our First Amendment rights, that can't be painted by the regime as somehow radical and un-American, which is exactly what they're trying to do now. They're trying to claim that we're all violent Antifa, American-hating terrorists, which we proved them wrong real hard on No King's Day. But anyway, when we were planning for April 5th Hands Off, there was this poem that kept coming up in my mind. It's by a Wisconsin poet named Ella Wheeler Wilcox. So I guess I want to conclude here by reading this poem to you. So I hope that Wilcox's words move you as much as they do me, and I hope they stick with you as much as they have stuck with me. To sin by silence when we should protest makes cowards out of men. The human race has climbed on protest. Had no voice been raised against injustice, ignorance, and lust, the Inquisition yet would serve the law, and guillotines decide our least disputes. The few who dare must speak and speak again to right the wrongs of many. Speech, thank God, no vested power in this great day and land can gag or throttle. Press and voice may cry loud disapproval of existing ills, may criticize oppression and condemn the lawlessness of wealth-protecting laws that let children and childbearers toil to purchase ease for idle millionaires. Therefore, I do protest against the boast of independence in this mighty land. Call no chain strong, which holds one rusted link. Call no land free that holds one fettered slave, until the manacled slim wrists of babes are loosed to toss in childish sport and glee, until the mother bears no burden save the precious one beneath her heart, until God's soil is rescued from the clutch of greed and given back to labor. Let no man call this the land of freedom.